no means welcome to the Have Knitting Podcast. My name's Christy. Happy Valentine's Day. It's the 14th of February. I'm just going to apologise for the light. It's about to start raining and I have dodgy natural lighting in this part of the house as it is. So if it's a bit grainy, I'm really sorry. There's not much that I can do about it. There's just not. So I don't have any pedestal lamps or anything that I can stick behind. And there's nowhere else that I can really sit where the lighting is any better. Does that make sense what I'm saying? At the moment, I mean, hopefully that will change, but at the moment. This is where I am. So happy Valentine's Day. I hope you're having, well, I hope you had, because this will go up after Valentine's Day. I hope you had a great Valentine's Day, and if you celebrate it. Not everyone celebrates it. We generally don't. But yeah, I hope you had a good day. If you got something lovely, tell me. I want to live vicariously through you. No, I don't really. But yeah, I hope you had a good day. My husband is in the city today doing some training, and apparently he is saturated because it's raining in the city. We are about, I don't know how far inland. We're in the Blue Mountains, so you know we're kind of way out west. It's not raining here yet, but it's about to. I think it's just started to get really dark outside. So yeah, just in time for good school pickup. So this time last week it was raining, and it rained for like 2 or 3 days, and then we had a heat wave. And I'm so thankful to have survived. It was awful. We may as well have been living in hell. It was that hot. Okay, yeah, all right, fair enough. I'm probably being an extremist, but it was pretty revolting. So much so, it's like the heat wave sort of started on Friday. My husband it was my husband's birthday on Friday, and he came home early from work. And I was waiting for him to call me and say, that he was at the train station, and he didn't. And you know, I was getting around about, I think it was about 1:30, and I'm thinking, where is he? Like, you know, I think I may have just text messaged him and said, where's your train? And he walked in the front door, and he took off his backpack, and where the lines of the backpack are was just, it was wet, like on his back and down his front. It was just that hot. Even just walking downhill from the station was revolting. Saturday, the temperatures got worse, and we were planning on taking the kids somewhere to escape the heat. We didn't end up going anywhere because our youngest daughter, who's 4, wasn't coping very well. And we sort of figured it was just probably better to just lay low at home, where we could make sure that she was hydrated, and stick her in front of the fan or whatever we needed to do. And the kids streamed iView. So we have, in Australia, we have ABC, the Australian Broadcasting Company, and they have a thing called iView, so you can stream like all their programs. And so they watched all the kids' ones, because ABC is predominantly, well, there's a few different ABC channels, but they have like dedicated kids ones. So they were quite happy watching programs like Operation Ouch, I think it's called, and Actually Amazing or whatever it is. So my 11-year-old, almost 11, she's 11 on Friday. My 11-year-old daughter Amelia is really, oh now here comes the sun. Yeah, is really into, she really likes Operation Ouch. Everybody else is cringing, and she loves it. So they're watching a lot of Operation Ouch. So yeah, we just kind of stayed indoors and out of the sun as much as we possibly could. Sunday, we stayed home again. Our 4-year-old, we were planning on going to church, and all the kids were up. And my 4-year-old Adelaide said, I don't feel very well, Mummy. And I said, well, how about you just have a lie down? And I put the fan on, and she lay down on the couch, because we don't have air conditioning. she lay down on the couch and she fell asleep. So she woke up again, but by that stage it was getting a little bit too late to try and get ready and get out the door. And then we decided, the cool change started coming through, but we decided, because we'd been promising the kids the last day and a half to take them out, we decided to take the kids to McDonald's, otherwise known as Macca's in Australia, for a slushie. And we got to McDonald's and their frozen Coke machine was broken, much to everyone's disappointment. So they had soft serve ice creams. And I, when I dropped Adelaide off at preschool on Monday, yesterday was Monday, oh my goodness, I asked one of the teachers how she was, and she said, I'm good, how are you? And I said, I survived. I'm still alive, I'm here. That's how hot it was. If you survived, if you got through the weekend, you're a champion. So it's funny, like, weather extremes, because I know that in some parts of Canada they've had severe snowstorms, whereas here we're having severe heat waves. You know, like, which one's worse? Like, you know, like, you have a blackout here, you have no aircon, but you can stay relatively cold. But I suppose if you have a blackout in places of Canada where you know, or northern hemisphere, well, places that get a lot of snow, how do you stay warm? But anyway, the heat was exhausting. Yeah, really, really exhausting. So, and today I'm really feeling it. I'm really tired today. Really tired today. And I've still got to get through the rest of the day. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm here. I'm recording. I'm alive. I'm smiling. It's a good day. My groceries are done. My kids will be fed for another week. And I've got coffee. And knitting. So let's talk about knitting. So for whip it, real good. I'm sure I'm mixing songs when I sing that. I'm going to have to look it up on YouTube. And sing it properly, because I know all of you love listening to me sing. So for whip it, the first thing I'm going to show you is my, it's a Ceres blanket, Cerys. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, by Susie Blackman. Actually, I wrote notes about what I wanted to talk about. Pat on the back for me. So I didn't write down what I'm going to check my needle. Or maybe not. Oh no, it's still there. Okay, so I'm knitting it on a 3mm circular needle, and this is it. Upside down, Miss Jane, upside down. Does anybody remember, I can't remember what it's called, Mr. Squiggle? If you are not Australian and you've never heard of Mr. Squiggle, Google it. I don't know if anything will come up, but Mr. Squiggle was a TV program that I grew up with as a kid, and it was this little puppet called Mr. Squiggle who came from the moon. Mr. Squiggle, the man on the moon. And he had a pencil for a nose, and kids would send him in scribbles, and he would make these amazing drawings out of them. And there was a lady who used to, you know, I guess she was like the host of the show, I don't know. And if his picture was upside down, he would say to Janie, say, upside down, Miss Jane. And the chalkboard would go, hurry up. Random things you didn't need to know. But that was awesome. I loved Mr. Squiggle. I have shown my children Mr. Squiggle, and I think they've all gone, he's freaky. And what the hell is that? But I love Mr. Squiggle. Mr. Squiggle is very dear to my heart. So if I say random things like upside down, Miss Jane, you know that I'm referencing a childhood show that I loved. So this is my Ceres blanket by Susie Blackman. It's spelled C-E-R-Y-S. And I think what I'm going to have to do is message the designer and say, how do you pronounce it? how do you pronounce the name of the hexagon of the blanket? Anyway, so it's a hexagon blanket. It's a scrappy blanket. It's a paid for pattern on Ravelry. And I love this blanket. It's my boot. No, it's not really. Not that I even know what that means. You know, like I'm so old. I have no idea what anyone's saying anymore. It's so funny because my 13-year-old has started using the word rad. She'll come home and she'll say, Mum, that's rad. I'm like, man, I was using that word in the 80s and 90s. It's rad. That's all right. I like listening to Delight and dancing around like I'm stuck in the 1960s. I know Delight was what, 1990s? You know, Groove is in the Heart. But they dance like they're from the 1960s. Or is it 1970s? One of them. Utter nonsense in my house. Constantly. I hope that means my children will have wonderful childhood memories. Anyway, so this is my series blanket. I did work on this a little bit. My craft group started up again, or the craft group that I go to, started up again on last Thursday. And I took my cross stitch and I got there and realized that I actually left my needle and thread snippers at home. So I had everything else but the actual tools that I needed to stitch with. So thankfully I had grabbed my blanket just in case. And so I put this little hexagon in. So this red is from Hawthorne Cottage Yarns. It doesn't have it's got a colorway number. I knit my V Junkie socks by Alice Hsu out of this yarn. So it's coming up quite orange. But it's kind of an orangey red with pops of purple, which I don't think you can really see. But yeah, so there's that. And I also put the yarn for my Darjeeling sock in this as well over Christmas. Where's the third one? So that's quite nice. So that's it. There's some yarns here like this one here, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one here too, and this one, and this one. They're from a friend. She gave me some, she had some leftover yarn from socks that she had knit, and so she gave me this massive big bag of scraps in exchange for some Addy lace needles that I didn't want. I don't like the brass tips. So I gave her my needles and she gave me her leftover sock yarn, and so it's going into my blanket. And I think it's looking pretty good. And my daughter's particularly happy with it, which is the most important thing. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I said last week that I was going to put my minis from Emma, the Tea Party collection, I think it's called, from Emma. I was going to put that in my blanket, and that was part of the reason why I had taken my blanket to craft, because I was going to wind up some of the minis and start, you know, and like at least start putting one in there. And obviously didn't, because I put the red one in instead, the Hawthorne Cottage Yarns. And then I was thinking about it on Sunday, and I thought actually that yarn would make a really nice pair of scrappy socks. If you watch Knitting in Stitches with Moira, you would know that she knit a pair of Magic Yarn Ball Advent socks. And you can go and watch her her episodes from the end of last year to see what she did. I got really excited. I thought they looked fantastic, and I've been really keen to knit my own since then. So I was sort of thinking, not even really thinking about it over the weekend, and all of a sudden I'm like, I need to knit myself a pair of scrappy socks out of that yarn. So I told my daughter, and she went, yeah, gee, that mum, like that's going to look awesome. So my Amelia, who I'm knitting the blanket for, is, I don't think she's really much of a pastel-y kind of person. And the colours are quite, if you watched last week's episode, you would have seen, the colours are quite soft. They're a bit, you know, there's not a lot of bright colours in there. There's some purples and stuff in there that, in the set that kind of pop. but she's not really much of a purple fan. And most of the colours are quite sort of softer. And so when I told her what I was planning on doing, she's like, yes, do that, Mum, do that. So she was really excited. So I sat down and balled them up, or separated them up. I weighed a sock. So the sock that I weighed was 38 grams. So it's like mid-calf sock. I knit that sock with the vanilla is the new black heel. Whatever that heel's called, I can't remember. So I don't know if that weighs more because there's more fabric in the heel or not. So, but I don't know. So I grabbed that sock because that was the easiest one. Weighed that was 38 grams. So I figured, right, now there's my scales, my digital scales are like 17 years old in March because we got them as a wedding present. I think I need to replace them. So there's 10 mini skeins. I'm like, 4 grams each mini skein will be enough. I have 9. And I have 2 yarn cakes, and this one, both 38 grams according to my kitchen scales, and I have weighed them several times. And this one is considerably bigger than this one. Go figure. So yes, I'm knitting scrappy socks. I just did the normal magic knot, and I trimmed the ends quite close to the knot, and I'm hoping that doesn't come undone. I'm really hoping that doesn't come undone. I didn't think to ask, and the blog post that I was reading didn't say to leave them so that you could weave them in later, so we'll see. Anyway, so I started a pair of socks. I'm doing a pair of toe-up mid-calf socks because those are the sort of socks that I like. This is my provisional cast on, and this is some green yarn that was in the mini. So I'm doing a short row toe. I'm using the Penrose Toes pattern by Carol Feller. It's a free pattern on nitty.com, sort of as my base, but I'm using my normal 64 stitch count. I'm using my favorite 2.5mm needles. It's got a short row heel, the toe up, so it's got a short row heel, short row toe in garter stitch, which is what I wanted to do. So, and that was the thing that came up when I googled it. So I'm quite happy with that. I think it'll look quite good. I did actually finish it. I finished the toe last night, and I unzipped the provisional cast on only to discover that there was a missing stitch. And then I googled it, and Tech Knitter, if you want to know, I'll try and remember to link to the article in the show, like in the Ravelry post. Tech Knitter has a great article as to why when you do a provisional cast on, you lose the stitch. So you'll have, you know, like, so for this I have 32 stitches going up, but then when I go down, there'll only be 31. And so she has an article about that. So yeah, so that's that. I'm really looking for, like, it's awesome. They're going to make awesome, awesome tea party scrappy socks. So, and that's the second one that I've done. And I had enough left over that I've got another little mini ball. So I haven't weighed this, I've got no idea, but I'm just going to put this into Amelia's blanket because I thought that would be fun. And there is a skein. This is my minis bag. There is a mini skein of yarn from Emma left over. So I said to Amelia when I got to the end of the first sock and realised that it was, or the first mini cake, whatever, magic yarn ball, and I realised that I had 38 grams. Cause I don't know what's going on with my scars. I said to her, which yarn do you want me to keep? There's like 3 that I hadn't unraveled, and she chose this one. So it's like, it's a bit like my like the Turtle Pearl yarns, the 80s t-shirt that I knit my slip stripe socks from, but a little bit more pastel-y, sherbety kind of thing. But yeah, so she chose that one to keep to put in her blanket. So that, I'm cool with that. If it comes down to it, then I get to the end, then I'll just put that in at the cuff, I guess. So that is that. The other thing that I've been working on is I'm partway through a row too. My geometric cabled socks by Callisto Knits. It's a paid for pattern on Ravelry. I'm knitting it in Olive May yarns, who is my friend Jen. Dyes Olive May yarns. So I'm a little bit further along. I can't remember where I was up to last time, but with the heat wave I really didn't do a huge amount of knitting, but I think I'm about 1.5 repeats in. So she says in the pattern to do 2 pattern repeats. I think I'll do 2.5, because by the time I get to the end of this, I don't think it's going to be as long as I like, because I have long legs and I like my socks to be just that little bit longer. So that's coming along nicely. I still love how it knits up. The colorway is minty blue. So, and I love this yarn. It's really good. But I do need sharper needles. And I did find somewhere other than Pearl Wires that stock higher highers. So I will get myself a pair of higher sharps to knit on those sooner rather than later, hopefully. And the last thing that I've been working on, I really haven't been working on much. It was too hot. Is my husband's socks. So I think I said last time that I was planning on finishing them, but as you can see, I really didn't get a lot done with the heat wave. So I've started reducing for the toe. I've got to get him to try them on again, just to make sure that there's that it's long enough, because he's got long toes, but we'll see. Anyway, so that's that. That's knit in on 2.5mm needles. That's the only size needle I use for socks. So it's Knit Picks Stroll in black and Knit Picks Stroll Tweed in Flagstone Heather, I think it is. And it's just a simple rib sock with a huge big heel flap, because he's got really high arches. But that's it. That's everything. Yeah. I'm going to go and finish my coffee and enjoy the peace and quiet before I have to go get my kids. So I hope that you have a great week, and I will see you again next time. See ya.